guys, and welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher. I really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today. And we are going to be talking about one of my favorite lures that we've talked about it on and off the channel over the past couple of years, but I want to talk specifically about fishing it sort of like in the month of April, May, and June. And that's this Megabass Dark Sleeper here, guys. This is a freaking deadly bait. I've caught tons of fish on it the last 3 years. And I sort of want to go over the bait if you haven't heard about it or seen it, or even if you know about it and you've used it before. I got some good tips and advice I'm going to share with you guys on it because it is certainly a unique bait. Looks like a swim bait, but you do not fish it like a swim bait. So we're going to get into that today. And also, guys, I will put the link to my Dark Sleeper and my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to order a few of them, using that link's a good way to get them and help the channel out too. So appreciate that. And real quick, guys, anybody interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me right now? Fishing is really good here on the lakes I give the lessons on, Table Rock Lake and Stockton Lake. Excellent fishing going on right now. Just shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat, and I'll get you all the details with that. So I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, here it is. This is the Megabass Dark Sleeper. Now, the thing about this, it looks like a swim bait, and now when you reel it through the water, it goes through the water just like a swim bait. But it's different because it's sort of a fat looking bait. It's like a goby, and it's got a lead flat keel weight on the bottom here, which makes it stand up on the bottom like that. So the thing that makes this thing different than what it looks like, it's a bottom bait. This is how I catch fish on it, is on the bottom. And then you've got the hook that is hidden in the dorsal fin right here. It's got a nice little sharp, super stiff, about a 2/0 hook. One thing that I'll give you, a piece of advice I'll give you guys, is take a pair of pliers and open that hook up just about 1/16 of an inch. And then I like to take and I trim that dorsal back just about 1/16 of an inch. So it gets that hook point pointed out and the dorsal's not quite as much in the way there. That'll definitely help you with your hook sets, but that's the only modification you have to do with it. They got a bunch of good colors, guys. They all work good. But specifically, I want to talk about how you want to fish this thing. Okay, they have several different sizes. They got a 2.4-inch model. They got this 3-inch model. They got a 3.5-inch model and a 4.5-inch model. So I fish all of them on a bait cast outfit except the 2.4-inch, the little short one. I'll use that on a spinning rod with 6-pound line. But for the 1/2-ounce one and all the other ones, I'm usually using a 7-foot medium heavy bait caster with about 10-pound tests on it. That's the setup with it. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about how you want to work this thing, and then I'm going to describe to you guys the areas that it works in and the whole situation with it. When you're fishing the Dark Sleeper, guys, what you want to do is you want to cast it out there. Doesn't matter if you're using, the little one or, any of the bigger ones. You work them all the same, and cast it out there, let it hit the bottom like that, and then you want to snap it hard off the bottom like that. You don't want to like hop it like that. You want to snap it hard. I'm trying to snap this thing about 2 foot off the bottom. So you don't want to work it just like hopping it like a jig along the bottom. I mean, you can catch a few doing that, but the real thing that triggers the bass on this, a lot of people don't know about, is when you snap that rod hard, it makes it jerk up like that, and then it falls back down like a little swim bait like that. And guys, that is when they hammer it. There's 2 ways that they hit it most of the time. Number one, it's like, okay, it's on the bottom and you're popping it like that. You take up the slog, popping it like that. That's how I retrieve it. I don't reel it in. I pop it, take up the slack, pop it, take up the slack. They hit it 2 different ways. Probably 60 to 70% of the time, when you pop it like that, when you get to the top of your pop, they're on it and you just set the hook. The other time is when you pop it and you're watching your line fall back down, you'll just see your line jump like that, and then you set the hook on it. But that is the most important thing that I can share with you guys on the Dark Sleeper, is you want to snap that rod tip. And probably the best way I can describe this is sort of like, it's for spinning in both like this. Just watch really close, like it hits the bottom there, and just go like that, like that. And sometimes in clear water, I'll even pop it harder. I've taken it before and popped it 4 foot off the bottom in real clear water, and they bite it really good, especially if it's a little bit warmer. Okay, so you got it down there. You got the bait size and everything. You got how you're retrieving it. lure setups, let's talk about where you want to fish it and specifically where it works. Now, the Dark Sleeper is one of those baits. It will work 12 months out of the year. It's one of those few baits that you can catch them 12 months out of the year. I haven't done quite as good in the wintertime on it. I've caught some on it, but for me, it's sort of like April, April to November is one of the good time frame with it. Probably my favorite time frame for it is May, June, and July. Those May, June, and July is when I've caught the most fish on it. Here's my number one place that I want it. You want to fish it on flat points. Main lake points, secondary points. It's a great bait for covering the water on points. So depending upon the water clarity, and water clarity is an issue. This is a cleaner water bait. It doesn't work good in stained water. I want to have water visibility of at least 3 foot. Ideally, I like probably, 3 to 5 foot of visibility is perfect for it. So I've got that water clarity window, and what I'll do is I'll get out on those flatter points. Like I said, it can be a main lake point, it can be a secondary point. I'll get my boat usually in about probably 20 foot of water, and I'll just fan cast everywhere around the point. I'll usually start about maybe 50 yards from the end of the point, because you can catch them on the sides of the point too. I'll work around the point 50 yards on the other side. I may make one cast up in 5 foot of water, then I'll fire one across the point in 10 foot of water, and then I might even turn around and throw one out in 25 or 30 foot of water and let it hit the bottom, because the fish can be everywhere. On a lake that has clear water, especially during the post-spawn and during the early summer, those fish will be anywhere between right up on the bank in 2 or 3 foot of water to out to 20 or 30 or 40 foot of water, depending upon the time of the year. So you just fan cast around that. That's the number one way that I've caught them. Guys, I have caught a ton of fish doing it. First time that I ever had a Dark Sleeper, it was the 1st of July, and I just got him. This has been a long time ago. I took him down to Table Rock Lake, and I was just hopping it like that. I was just hopping it like a jig, and I wasn't catching very much. And then I started experimenting, snapping the thing pretty hard, almost like they crack a tube up north. And that's when I started catching them. And guys, the first day I had it, I caught like 30 or 40 on it. And it really showed me what to look for. So points are the number one thing. The second place that it works good on is bluff banks, especially the little 2.4 inch size. I'll take that little 2.4 inch size. Again, if the water's clear, I'll throw it up on that bluff. And this is where I sort of just work it like a jig a little bit more. I still snap it, but when I'm snapping it on that bluff, I'm not snapping it as high off the bottom. I'm snapping it maybe a foot off the bottom or so, letting it sort of just fall down, working it the same way like you'd work a jig down a bluff bank. Those have been the two scenarios that I've done the best in it by far. And there's probably some other ways. I mean, that's just what's worked for me. I'm sure you can experiment with it and catch it in some other situations. But guys, that's a fish catching bait. I mean, it is. The only downside to it that I have found about it is that if you don't bend that hook out and trim that dorsal fin back, quite a few of the fish will jump off on it. But ever since I started, bending that hook out especially, the land ratios went way up on it. So if you want to try it, guys, like I said, there's 4 sizes, but if you just want to get into it for the first time, get you some of the 2.4 inch models and the 3 inch model. Those are the two that I've caught the most fish on, and see what you think about it. But anyway, guys, I'll have them in my Tackle Warehouse link. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk later.